Well, if we learned one thing this offseason, it's that I don't know ball. That's definitely one thing we learned, because in my last video, it's not like I said the Dolphins were going to be good, but I said they would win 9 games. 9 games. I said they would go 9-8 and miss the playoffs. This team would be lucky if they scored 9 touchdowns this season. Today, they were lucky to get 9 yards. That's about all they had in the first half. So if there's one thing that you guys learned this offseason, don't ever listen to me when it comes to literally anything at all, ever. And if there's one thing that I need to learn, it's my lesson, because I keep betting on the Miami Dolphins. Shout out to FanDuel, man, the first sponsor of today's video. They must be very happy with me because I took a ton of Dolphins overs. So obviously I lost a bunch of money. They're going to get a bunch of money from me. I had said many times this offseason, why are the Dolphins underdogs? I was telling y'all, I said, the Dolphins underdogs versus Daniel Jones? Are you kidding me? Well, that's stupid. Go ahead, put all your money on the Dolphins. Maybe that's why FanDuel sponsors me, is because I give them a ton of money every year, so they end up making profit anyways. Oh my God, what an awful game. What a terrible game. You come out first game of the season when you need to make a statement and you do this? The amount of historic stats that came from this game is ridiculous. Like, the Colts haven't won a week 1 game in like 11 years. The Dolphins won their last 4 week 1s. Not today. I think this is the fewest first half yards the Dolphins had in a game since like 1991. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. I have a ton of notes for this game. I don't even know if y'all want to hear them, but I feel like they need to be said because we need to document how bad a loss this was. The 33-8 final score doesn't even do it justice. It literally does not even do it justice. Like, oh my God, and I'm an idiot. Not only did I lose a little bit of money betting the Dolphins today, which I don't care about, whatever. You know, I have a bunch of parlays going on today. Happy NFL season returning. It is a joyous day for most. Not Dolphins fans, though, but for most. Even Justin Fields is out there balling out for the Jets. They're having a great duel right now with Pittsburgh, who's led by a 40-something-year-old Aaron Rodgers, who has like 5 touchdowns today. Everybody's having a jolly good old time. Last I checked, the Browns were even winning versus the Bengals. The Browns! Well, what's that score right now? Actually, I'm curious. Yeah, the Browns are down 1 with the ball. Wow, 2 minutes to go. That actually could be an exciting finish, truly. And Jets are up 1. Wow. A lot of good football going on today for everyone except for the Miami Dolphins. So I need to learn my lesson. But point is that 33-8 score does not even do it justice how bad this game was. You know, I had some friends going, or they're thinking about going to the first home game, which I think is week 3. And they asked me if I wanted to go, because I think they might have already got tickets actually. And I said, maybe. Let me see how they do the first, week or 2 of the season. Let me check the schedule actually real quick. Because I said, what I'm not going to do is spend all my hard-earned money to see this trash-ass team if they're going to be trash. No, that's right. Home. Next week is home versus New England. So after today's performance, no. Why would I spend my hard-earned money to go see this team when they clearly don't give a crap about football? Why would I give a crap about them? You know what? I don't. I mean, I do care. I'm a Dolphins fan. I will watch every game. But what I'm not going to do in this video is get mad, because we shouldn't be surprised. We shouldn't be. So I'm not going to get surprised, or I'm not going to get mad because I'm not surprised. I'm just going to share my thoughts. And what I'm also definitely not going to do is go to the game next week, because I'm not wasting my money on this team. But what I definitely might do, maybe I'll buy some Heat preseason tickets for as low as $7, or maybe I'll go see the Hurricanes, who just had a dominating win versus Bethune-Cookman yesterday. And if you want to do the same, you can get some tickets through the other sponsor of today's video, Game Time. Game Time is the #1 place to get your Hurricanes tickets. We just beat that Notre Dame ass. AP poll has us in the top 5, so I'm very excited to see them. You can get your Dolphins tickets with the season kicking off in a few days. Of course, you can get your Heat tickets and many, many more events. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I used to browse all the ticket apps before buying some seats, but time and time again, I always ended up buying from Game Time. And it's because I always found them to have the most user-friendly interface. I mean, you can literally see a panoramic preview of what the view will look like from your actual seats, and they always show the price with fees included, so no more hidden cost popping up right before you get your tickets. Plus, the Game Time guarantee means that you'll get 100% authentic authentic tickets on time and at the best price. And this is not like a Charles Barkley guarantee where he says something and he's always wrong. Like, no, Game Time will literally guarantee that you have the lowest price, or they'll credit match you up to 110% the difference. So if you want to go see Giannis for $7 at the first Heat preseason game, or want to see Tyreek Hill in action one more time before the Dolphins trade him, make sure to download the Game Time app today, or go to gametime.co and sign up using my promo code CLNS. That's CLNS, and that will get you $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. It's as simple as an Ollie Gordon handoff. Just swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time app today. Shout out to Game Time, man. But now let's finally get into my notes for this game, which I've been dreading. There's a lot, but it starts with the Colts winning the coin toss and taking the ball. You almost never see a team win the coin toss and want the ball first. Usually you always want the ball to start the second half so you can get that double possession. But no, the Colts saw that Dolphins secondary as baby food and said, give me some of that right away. And then sure enough, 3 plays in, the Dolphins were already dealing with the injury BS. You had James Daniels, the offensive lineman, injure his pec 3 plays into the game, which of course, the guy that you got for a relatively decent deal, because he's injury prone, gets injured 3rd play of the game. That's Dolphins logic. Oh, we have a bunch of injuries. Who should we sign this offseason? Somebody else with injury concerns. That's what the Dolphins do, and James Daniels goes down 3 plays into the game and does not return. And then on the Dolphins' first offensive possession, Tua overthrows a wide open Tyreek Hill who's running across the middle of the field, and Tua gets his first interception of the day. The ensuing Colts possession, they will go right down the field. Finally, the defensive line makes what was like one of their 2 good plays today. This new rejuvenated Dolphins defensive line, they were nowhere today, except for like these couple of plays. This first one, Nick Chubb gets a pretty nice sack. I felt good for, not Nick Chubb, Bradley Chubb gets a nice sack, and I felt good for him coming back from his injury, missing all of last season. But then it was the very next possession, after maybe Dolphins get a little bit of momentum, you know, the nice sack. Next possession, Storm Duck gets absolutely torched. Feel bad for Storm Duck. He's a guy that should probably be on a backup or a practice squad somewhere, but the Dolphins have no cornerbacks. But hey, the fans are more worried about the secondary than the front office. Heard the same thing last year about the offensive line. We got Storm Duck out there today getting absolutely torched. So Colts will score a touchdown. Dolphins will go down 10-0. It was 2 plays later. Dolphins get the ball back. Xavier Howard, who I called washed in my last video, that's on me. Clearly, he's not washed because he punches the ball right out of Tua's hands. Tua fumbles, 2nd turnover in a row for the Miami Dolphins. The Colts would recover and score off the turnover off a Daniel Jones sneak. So actually, the 2nd play already of the game where the Colts got a conversion off a Daniel Jones sneak because he's 6'5". You know, it would be nice if the Dolphins could have a quarterback that could get a QB sneak, because that's like the easiest play in football. I don't really think you can even play a quarterback nowadays who's not capable of running a QB sneak. Converting those 3rd and inches, 4th and inches are critical. And we know the Dolphins couldn't do that for years. And it's like, I don't know. I'm at the point now, the next quarterback they get, you have to be able to run a QB sneak. That's just what it is in today's football. Daniel Jones sneaks it in with ease, and that will put the Dolphins down 17-0. with 12 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. So the Dolphins walked into a buzzsaw from the jump. The next drive, the Dolphins will get a huge 3rd down conversion to Tanner Conner. Shout out to see Tanner Conner. I think that was like his 4th career catch. That's where we're at now. Of course, the guy you get to replace Jonnu Smith, Darren Waller, he's out today. So we got to rely on Tanner Conner and Julian Hill's bum ass. But even after that big conversion, Tua got absolutely rocked. He was sacked, taken to the ground, never saw it coming. His blind side went completely unblocked, and then the Dolphins couldn't even get a playoff on the next play. They had to call timeout. So it's like, this is what I'm saying when I needed to say these notes to show how absolutely bad it was. Because first you let a guy go completely unblocked, hit Tua from the back. Thank God he did not get injured, because he definitely could have. Completely unblocked. Yeah, Tua got rocked that possession. And then it's like, how do you not get the next play off when the previous play was so short? It's not like you had a bunch of time for all your receivers to run down the field and they had to come back. It's like the previous play lasted all of 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Everybody's already right there at the line of scrimmage. You should be lined up and ready to go, and you can't get the play off. That would be the first time the Dolphins would burn a timeout this game because they couldn't get a playoff. And then all for nothing because on third down, Tua got sacked anyways. On the next Colts drive, Storm Duck did unfortunately get hurt. So obviously we already talked about their lack of depth at that position. Storm Duck would get injured, make it even worse. And then Rasul Douglas would check in, a guy that I was kind of excited about when the Dolphins signed him. I was wondering how much they were going to use him. Things were pretty good for the first couple of plays since he checked in. The Dolphins finally forced their first punt of the game, except Matthew Judon ran into the punter. So you force a first punt, you run into the punter. First down Colts. I don't even know why Matthew Judon was in the game on special teams anyways. He almost never plays special teams in his career, but sure, put him out there. Runs into the freaking punter. Just a huge loss because the Dolphins could have had the ball back with 4 minutes to go. They could have got a touchdown, maybe start the second half with a touchdown. Now you're only down 17-14. That was a critical miss. The very next possession after that, once the Colts got the ball back, Rasul Douglas dropped a wide open interception. It was the very next play. So just nothing breaking right for the Dolphins there. There was a play where Chop Robinson blatantly ran off sides like an idiot. It gave the Colts a free play on 3rd and 10. You'd think 3rd and 10, maybe you could stop the Colts. No, from the jump, Chop Robinson completely gets fooled by the snap counts, runs over. The Colts would convert on that free play. They got 14 yards in the first down. The Finns would try to waste all their timeouts trying to get the ball back. Didn't matter because the Colts still converted a 4th and 1 with ease, just absolute ease. No deterrence at all to keep their drive going. But then eventually, this is when the Dolphins D-line made like their second and second only, or I guess their second and last good play of the game. They would stop Jonathan Taylor on a 3rd and 1 run to set the Colts up for a field goal. That would put down the Finns 20-0 at the half. The first drive of the second half, the Dolphins had a 3rd and 1. I'm thinking, please bring in Ollie Gordon. And they did it. The one time today, I think Mike McDaniel did something right. He finally brought in their big back on 3rd and 1. And sure enough, Ollie Gordon would convert. I hope to see more of that. That one did get me excited. Then Jalen Waddle had a pretty nice catch after that, but was injured after he was tackled. Although he would return, it's just unfortunate these normal tackles and Dolphins guys are going down. On 3rd down, that same drive, Tua had all day on a 3rd and 3 chance, and he was picked off. He literally threw it right to the defender who was sagging off in coverage. Tua never saw him, and that would give him his second pick of the day. Very next possession, the Colts immediately got a 36-yard pass to Alec Pierce. So momentum went from the Colts direction to even way more the Colts direction. As the Dolphins, they really couldn't do anything with them. The Colts would go down the field, and they probably should have got a touchdown. Luckily, PI was not called on Minkah Fitzpatrick in the end zone because Minkah definitely committed that penalty. Thought that was actually one of the few times the Dolphins actually caught a break today from the refs. But no call on Minkah. The Dolphins would hold the Colts to a field goal and down 23-0. The next drive, Tyreek Hill was injured on a normal catch and run. So just like Waddle was earlier, Tyreek Hill got injured here also. He missed a 3rd down and then a 4th down for the Dolphins that drive. And the Dolphins had no chance on that 4th and 6. Hill wasn't even out there. So it's just unfortunate. You got these big plays late and then your star receiver can't even freaking be out there. The Colts would not have the same bad luck on their following drive. They would convert a 4th and 2 with ease. And then they were pushed pretty far back after back-to-back holding penalties. But then the Dolphins, Jack Jones, the new cornerback that got committed to defensive holding, and gave the Colts an automatic first after they were like 1st and 2nd and 20 or something ridiculous like that. So Dolphins really just continue to not get out of their own way. The Colts would convert another 4th and 1 off an easy quarterback sneak, and then Daniel Jones would punch in his second touchdown off another quarterback sneak to put them up 30-0. So again, just shows the importance of having a quarterback that could sneak. It's just, oh my God, the Dolphins got a quarterback that he can't run. He's too small to sneak because he gets injured too easily also. And then, sure, he's a little bit accurate when he can predetermine his throws, but this is NFL football. Defenses make you adjust. It's like Tua's basically worthless out there if he can't predetermine what's going to happen. God forbid one little minor detail doesn't go Tua's way and he can't do anything. Here I am getting mad when I said I wasn't going to get mad. Oh, God. The next Dolphins drive, Tyreek Hill, they had a catch that they called him out of bounds. Apparently, the announcer was getting kind of mad, saying, oh, the Dolphins should have challenged. Tyreek was actually in. I really don't even think Tyreek was in, to be honest. I only saw the replay one time. It looked like he was still bobbling the ball as he got that first foot in. But either way, that didn't come back to really bite the Dolphins because even though the Dolphins did not challenge, Achane got like a 30-yard run the very next play. So although the Dolphins were lucky that delay of game did not get called on that play because they snapped the ball a good second and a half after that play clock ran out. But Achane would get that 30-yard run, put them into down and goal position. It would be 4th and goal from like the 6th. And then the Dolphins had a 12-man on the field penalty. 4th and goal from the 6th to finally get your first points. And you have 12 men on the field. That's incompetence. That's negligence. Every other word in the book you want to throw at it. How do you have 12 men on the field? That might be the most absurd play for the Dolphins today in a game that was full of absurd plays. That's just ridiculous. There's no excuse for that. That would push the Dolphins to 4th and 11. Obviously, with 11 to go to goal. Tua would throw a pass to Achane, 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So now you got to go 19 yards to get a touchdown. And credit to Achane, he did it. He made a hell of a play, bodied the Colts defender to get into the end zone. So shout out to Achane there. I do think he's a great player, but just ridiculous play calling and coaching, really. To one, not have your team prepared. That's what they were today, completely unprepared. Have 12 men on the field, fourth and 6. You have 12 men on the field, pushes you back to 4th and 11. And the play call you run is a pitch back 8 yards? That's soft. Luckily, Achane was able to punch it in. The Dolphins would go for 2. They had to burn a timeout going for a 2-point conversion. Am I crazy to get angry about that? How do you waste a timeout because you're not ready for a 2-point conversion? That is a set standard that you should be practicing time and time again. It doesn't change. You know what the distance to goal is and the setups and the lineups for a 2-point conversion. That is like a set in stone thing. How can you not be prepared for that? And then in a game where you're already down 30 points and you need your timeouts if you want to have a miracle comeback and you got to waste one because you can't get a playoff? Unbelievable. Somehow the Dolphins would still score off a Julian Hill catch of all people to get the 2-point conversion. But that was it. You know, the Dolphins would onside kick it. Colts would recover, hit a field goal to make it 33-8. And then Zach Wilson checked in for the final minutes for the Dolphins, and it really did nothing. So we'll run through the box score real quick here, where Tua on the day finished 14 of 23 for 114 yards. 1 touchdown, 2 picks, and a fumble. I'm in trouble. I am in a pretty big super flex league with, some Heat content creators, Adam Barai and Royal, amongst a few others. And it's a super flex league, meaning we could start a quarterback at flex. Tua's my flex quarterback. Nearly got me negative points today. That's going to be a rough one if Tua can't turn things around. Not to be selfish and talk about my fantasy team. More so, I'd rather the actual Dolphins win than my fantasy team because I care more about the Dolphins. But I just think we're at the point of no return. I think we can all pretty clearly see now how this season is going. And it's not very well. So, whatever. Achane got 55 rushing yards. And then from the receivers, Tua spread the ball pretty well. 4 catches for Waddle, 4 for Hill, 3 for Achane, 2 from Malik Washington. My favorite prop of the day on FanDuel was Malik Washington over 1.5 catches. I like that so much that luckily I got in early because I actually ended up upping it from 1.5 to 2.5 because that's how much people were betting on Malik Washington. We know Tua likes him or not. But, yeah, really, there's nothing really that stands out here from the stats at all. But do I think the Dolphins are as bad as they were today? Probably not. But it's like we just watched Daniel Jones, who we know sucks. We watched him piece them up. Imagine what a good quarterback's going to do to this secondary. And the Colts are a mediocre team, too. And it's a blowout. Not even close. I don't know. Either way, the Dolphins do have the Patriots next, and the Patriots, last I checked, were losing also. They lost 20-13 to the Raiders, who obviously I'd probably say is a mediocre to below mediocre team anyways. Although, what did Geno do today? Yeah, Geno played sensational. Wow, 362 yards. Yeah, that is incredible. And the Bengals did come back to beat the Browns. And then how about the Steelers one? Ooh, Steelers ball up to 30 seconds left. Looking like they might pull this one out. Anyways, that's really all I got to say for this video. I was hoping the Dolphins could be a little bit of exciting this offseason to get us through another month or two before heat season starts. But, hey, we'll see what happens. At least we got the Hurricanes. At least we got the Panthers starting up in a month. And it is what it is. Anyways, I appreciate y'all checking out this video. Make sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. What you think of this Dolphins team? Do you think things will get better, or do you think we'll just see more of the same? Shout out to the sponsors of today's video, FanDuel and Game Time. Make sure y'all comment and subscribe and like the video, because that stuff helps out a lot. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out, everyone.
Look, pull up in your city, tryna get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.